This dataset keeps track of about 29 reaction types. They are labeled RX1 through to RX28 and RX others. The dataset also keeps track of associated ward, local government area, and state. Assuming you are interested in the sum of the individual reactions by state, the first thing you will observe is that for the state field, which is a categorical variable, there are multiple entries of the same value corresponding to different observations. For example, in row 4, you have state as Kaduna. In row 6, you have state as Kaduna. In row 11, you also have state as Kaduna. Apart from the fact that there are multiple entries of the same value in the state field, another observation is that the data set is not sorted by the state field. When you sort this data set by the state field, then the observations will be grouped into the various levels of this categorical variable. To sort this data set by the state field, on the Sort and Filter group of the Data tab, click on the Sort command. This will launch the Sort dialog box. On the Sort dialog box, set the column field to state. The Sort On field should be set to values. For this case, I will use the order A to Z. Make sure you check My Data Has Header if your data has header. When you're done, click OK. This data is now sorted by the state field. You can see how observations with the same value on the state field have been grouped together. Sorting this data is only the first step to solving the problem. The second step requires that we apply a function that sums the number of reactions for each reaction type across the levels of the categorical variable state. What we are interested in is the sum of each reaction type across the different states. To get this summary with a cell within the data set selected, on the outline group of the data tab, click on the subtotal command. This will launch the subtotal dialog box. On the subtotal dialog box, set the at each change in to state. Because we are interested in sum of reactions, set the use function to sum instead of count. In this case, sum is the correct choice. Since we are interested in the various reaction types, for the add subtotal to we will select all the reaction types that we are interested in. You're provided with additional options to replace current subtotal, to add page break between groups, and to add summary below data. These choices indicate that we want to apply the sum function on the selected reaction types across different levels of the state variable. Click OK. You can now view this data set at 3 levels of details. At the first level, you are provided with a sum of the various reaction types. At the second level, you are provided with a sum of the various reaction type by state. And at the third level, you are provided with the same data set, but the sum for each level is at the bottom of the level. Adamawa ends here. Therefore, the sum for Adamawa appears in this row. Generally, to use the subtotal command to group data, you have to sort by a field of your interest. You can also ungroup data that you group with the subtotal command. To do so, select a cell within the dataset and click on the subtotal command on the outline group of the data tab. This will launch the subtotal dialog box. At the bottom of the subtotal dialog box, click on Remove All. And that's it. You can manually group related data and you can ungroup related data here.